Welcome! In today's module, we'll be taking our ninja sketch and adding color and other details. Okay, so let's get started. This is a very rough drawing. It's going to need some work. The first thing we're going to do is layer 2. I'm going to put the name body, maybe original, and I'm going to add a layer. And I'm going to work in this layer 3. Even though I'm going to draw on this, I'm going to be in layer 3. So I've got my paintbrush. I've got 2 as my thickness in black. So when you look at a ninja, a lot of times you would see that their arms and legs had wraps on the forearms and lower sections. So I'm going to separate those parts out. Make a line here like that, a line here like this, one like that, and a line like that. They don't have to be perfectly straight because we're dealing with cloth right now. Okay. Ninjas also a lot of times would wear sashes or belts, so we're going to put a sash right about here with 2 lines, just like that. And then we can put another sort of a sash piece right like that. And then we can make a wavy line coming off the back like this. And another one coming off like this, getting wider and wider, and then end it with a few frayed ends like that. Next, we're going to make the parts of his gi or his shirt, his outfit. So we'll start over here, and we'll move this up like that, and come down. And then the other side will be over here like this, and we'll come down like that. Then, I'm going to move this up like this. Over, and then this down like that. We'll also do the neck part, which is like this. Bring this line down, there, and extend out over on the bottom. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to extend up, and over like this. Now we can work on the head. We'll zoom in. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is work on the shape of this head. So what I'll do is I'll take my pencil or my paintbrush and I'll make it more angular like that. Come around, and you want your head to have a nice rounded shape to it. You take your line across like this, bring it around, a little bit of a nose bump, and like that. Then what you can do is you can kind of take the face and plane it down a little bit like this, just like that. And while I'm in here, I can kind of clean some of this up too. All right. Now, he should have some ruffling going on in his clothing. So we're going to create some ruffles here like this. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I can kind of see what lines I want to keep, which ones I want to get rid of. Just like that. So now I can start cleaning up some of the messy lines that I no longer need. So what I'll do is I'll merge layer 3 into the body layer. Now I'll take my eraser, I'll bring it up to about an 8 or so, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to remove all of these lines that I don't want. probably want to do a few more things with this face. We'll start adding some more details. So now, I'm going to make it like that and draw a line to give the profile of his face. Okay? Then I'm going to draw a hood line here. Maybe a little nose line. So you just want to keep looking for details, areas where you think it shouldn't look the way it does, and then try to fix them. Now let's look at some color. Okay, so I'm going to start with the forearms, the boots, and do the sort of the wraps that they use. Let me just make sure I have my line here. So I'll set this at 2 on the paintbrush, and I'll just make a line like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my magic wand tool and I'm going to select his forearm. Then I'm going to take my fill tool and I'm going to select dark black, or dark gray, I should say, and I'm going to fill this area. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush with a 2 and a black. I'm going to make lines like that, like this, like that, and like that. And then I'll make lines coming back the other way, like this, like this, like that, like that. I'm going to go to Effects, I'm going to go to Artistic, and I'm going to go to Oil Painting. And I'm going to start at 0 on both of these. What I'm looking for ideally is that nice balance of color that kind of mixes it together. Okay? The last thing I'll do is I'll take my paintbrush, I'll bring it up to about a 10. I'll select black, I'll open more colors, and I'll go to my opacity and make it about half. And then I'll just run it across the bottom like that. And then I'll take about a 3 and I'll run it like this along the sides. And in between, just like that. Now I'll repeat the process on the other forearm. Then I'll look to the foot. I'll need to close this off first. Make sure everything is clean, so I'll take black to about here. Control D to deselect everything, of course. And I'll go like this. Also close off the boot on this side down here. Like that. Repeat the same process. Okay, so now I want to add some color to the rest of him. We should next do the gi, or the outfit, and the head and the face mask, all the black parts, if you will, of his outfit, of his uniform. There's one problem, though. We've got this sash, we've got a bunch of other things here that are kind of in the way of connecting this area to that area, to the top of this, to all these different things. So we need to think how we're going to do that. Now, there's a couple different ways we could do this. We could cut little channels across each of these areas and fill, but I want to show you a different method that's kind of cool. It's called silhouetting, or I call it silhouetting. So I have a layer here, which I don't need. I'm going to go with my original body layer. I'm going to take my magic wand and I'm going to select all around the ninja, Now I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to select my fill tool. I'm going to take orange and I'm going to fill. Now I have a layer 3, which has the silhouette of the ninja in it. So now I'm going to take my magic wand again and I'm going to select the inside portion of layer 3. Now I've selected a silhouette of the ninja. Now I'm going to add an additional layer. I'm going to take my black and I'm going to fill. Now I've got a silhouette. You could use this as a picture too. This would be kind of cool. But we're going to actually give some detail to this ninja. Now I've got my ninja silhouette. I no longer need layer 3, the orange layer. That was just to set things up. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Now I'm going to take layer 4, which is my silhouette, and I'm going to tuck it below the original body layer. Now I'll turn my original body layer on, and you can kind of start to see that this is starting to kind of come together. Okay. Now let's turn off layer 4. And we'll turn on the original body layer. And I'm going to select with my magic wand right here in between his legs. And now I'm going to touch layer 4. Turn it on if you want. And I'm going to hit Control X. So there you go. Now you've got some pretty good color for your ninja. So now we need to think about how we're going to make the creases in his clothing. You have a problem here. You've got a black fabric, and you normally use black to show crease lines in anything that you're using. So how do you fix that? Well, the answer is you use other colors on top of the black that are slightly lighter but can stand out, namely dark gray. So what we'll do is we'll close layer 4, which is the silhouette layer, and I'm going to rename it Silhouette. And I'm going to go to the original body layer, and I am going to add another layer. Now I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to take my paintbrush. At about a 7 or so works, and I'm going to take dark gray. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and say, if the light is hitting this ninja from, let's say, this direction, sort of in the front, where are the areas of his clothing where the most light is hitting it? In other words, where are the edges of those creases where things are sticking out going to be? So I'm going to say right about here. There's a crease. There's another one here. And another one here. Same right here, like that. And I'm going to follow my crease lines, the ones that I already created, wherever I think there's going to be more light hitting this. Okay? That looks about how I want it. So now I'm going to go to Effects, I'm going to go to Blur, and I'm going to go to Gaussian Blur. I'm going to blur it. Right now I have it about a 7. I think that should be fine. And I'll leave it there. Now I'll turn my silhouette back on. And you can start to see it starting to pop now.